Hello. Now, this is a video on how to treat people, and how relationships go, and how we talk to people affect you, the people around you, and your whole energy type thing. Okay, I'll get into it in a minute, but okay, basically, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so bam, you're born, and the first words that you learn pretty much is like no, stop, don't, you know, and the basic building blocks of how you gotta talk to people. All the English language, not the slang yet, just the English language. Just the and, yes, but can't really talk that good. Bam. So okay, that so we just learn a little stuff. Some of us learn a little more than less at a young age. A very young age. A lot of us learn a lot more than we should know at a young age, right? So this is what builds the person. The first 7 years of your life, you're going to be downloading how you're going to get through this world. Look, with everything, like stop signs, the colors, the who's who, and where to go, right, left, up, turn, up, down, gravity, what's going on out here. That's a car. That's your uncle, auntie, cousin. This is a shoe. That's a GI Joe. Whatever. You got a lot of a billion different rules you have to understand in 7 years. Because in 7 years that's going to be the building blocks for you. You give me the man for 7 years, and I'll show you the man. Give me the first 7 years of someone's life, and you can show them the adult. You know what I mean? Because that's your foundation. Is what that is. That's the core of how you're going to solve problems, how you're going to navigate through situations. That's where your core is. So whatever that is, and however you were raised by, whoever you were raised by, that's where you start. If you want to know any problems about yourself, you look at your parents, and don't just look at them like that. You look deeply, and you will find yourself, or whoever raised you for the first 7 years of your life. You're going to find the core of you right there. So then you start there, and then you work on their problems. And then you work on yours, not for them, I mean, but you work on their problems, meaning the ones that you have in your head from your download from when you were young. you know so when you get the information that you need, when you say I am them, and the problems that they have, I have, in one way or another, because they all manifest different ways, but for the most part, that's the juice of it, that's the berry of it, you know what I mean? So once you get that down, then you can work on your problems, because now you have somewhere to start. Because you remember when you were little, you're like, I'm not going to do that when I get older. At least I did anyway. I look at my parents, I'd be like, whoa, fuck that. Some of the stuff that, they would do, whatever. I'd be like, I don't want to do that shit, but later in life, when those situations arise, and how you deal with the situation is when you were 7, and they dealt, or not 7, but somewhere in between there, and they dealt with that situation the same way. And you now, the only way to deal with that particular situation is what you know. And the only thing that you don't even know this, but the only thing that you know is what they taught you. So if you don't know what they taught you, and you're in that situation for the first time, and you react a certain way, why do you react like that? You never thought about that, right? Because the download was already there before you were even conscious. You see, this is pre-programmed, right? It's coming in when when you're in the belly, and your mom is talking, and whatever your mom knows, and whatever she's learning, and whatever she's feeling, whatever situations she's in at that particular moment is being downloaded to the baby, to me, to whoever. So if you are um, not feeling so good, and you're in a low vibration, is what basically is what the whole world is in right now, but you're in a low vibration, and you got another life inside of you, this is going to affect that life uh, a lot, traumatically in some, and beautifully in others. But it is going to affect how this seed is growing inside of there because of the the vibrational. Okay, we're all at the quantum level. We're all vibrations. Okay, that's all. That's it. We're just little strings, vibrating strings. And if you tweak it a little bit, you'll go up here. And if you tweak it a little bit, it'll go down there. You know what I mean? And down there is being pissed off and mad and everything. Up here is being really super happy and loving and stuff. It's the same thing, just on two different sides of the vibration. Okay, so now when you're born, the 7 years are up, right? Boom. Now you got the download. Now you're moving on through life. Okay, this is all about communication. Now we're moving on through life, right? Now we go through life, and we're about about high school now. Let's say we're no. We gotta go back more than that. Let's say okay, we're going third, fourth, fifth grade is when I can really start to remember stuff. I can't remember a whole bunch about my babyhood. People they say they can, but it's just a bunch of flashes. Really, you can't remember a whole month, in a row, 30 straight days in a row. So I can remember years. You know what I mean? But anyway, so at third, fourth, fifth grade, I could cuss real good. I could get it going. I could talk like a sailor, and I really could. And but there was places I could do it, and there was people I couldn't do it around. Okay, so that was kind of my upbringing. And then if you go back, generations back, same deal, but more a little more harsher. But they've had all the cussing and all the cool cussing and crazy cussing in the world all the way back in the 30s. I could use some music from the 1930s that is very vulgar, extremely vulgar. But anyway, so um, another thing is if you've ever heard of music like black, not just black, but hip hop. Have you ever heard hip hop where music where they degrade their people only, like the women and the men. I mean, the degradation of their own self. And I am a hip hop fanatic. Grew up on rolling down the street, smoking Indo, drinking gin and juice, all that. Yes, and then yes, it affected me very much, very, very much. The music affected me. You know what I mean? Don't even get it twisted. It was a driving factor in some of the things that I do today. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong or right or none of that. I'm just saying it definitely kicked off some things, for me, for sure. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that's the truth. Music is a very, very driving factor in what we do, because if it isn't a driving factor, look at how they talk to people, each other. Bitch, hoe, tramp, motherfucker, slut, hoe, wop, nigga, go to jail, shoot a nigga up, hotel, the whole nine. You know what I mean? The whole nine, doing the most. So then that bleeds out into our society, because if you don't think so, just put a fucked up person in a nice family and see how that shit goes. You know what I mean? Or if you just do it vice versa, put a nice motherfucker in a fucked up family. Let's see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying. That's how that shit works. So the apple falls not so far away from the tree if you coming up this way. But I came up on both sides of the fence, so I'm not blaming or saying nothing about nothing. But this is the truth. This is the truth. Now once we get about eighth grade or so, the hormones start kicking in, right? So now, however you're learning how to talk to people up to this point, about eighth grade, that's where your communication level is going to stop right there, and it is going to be what you've learned from there, and now you're going to tweak that. You're going to take that information that you have, and you're going to tweak that into however you're going to play that out. Because at this point, at least in my experience, is you kind of feel like you're growing up, like because the hormones are kicking in, and you got all this information coming in at you, so like cable TV, I mean the box, you know what I mean? The box is no joke, right? Look at watch this. You're born, in a circle in your mom, and you come out in a box, right? And they put you in a box, and your little baby put you in a box. And then you come out, you ride home in a box. Then you go home, you live in a box. You watch a box for most of your life. I don't care what you say. You watch a lot of TV. I did, and I've had to think about it. A lot of TV, a lot of television. So I can imagine nowadays, we with the phone and the TV and the devices, I would I wouldn't understand anything that went on in the real world. But and I don't even know if that's real, but that's another subject. But you go home in a box, then you watch a box, then you go to your work in a box, go to work in a box and you work in a box. You eat lunch out of a box. Then you drive home in a box. You live in a box. You go to the ambulance in a box. Then you go back to the hospital in a box. You die in a box. Then you go back to the earth, which is a circle. You know, to the fire, or wherever you're gonna go. Then you go back to the regular. Then that goes back to a circle. Everything we live in is straight lines. Nature doesn't make straight lines anywhere. Nowhere in nature is there a straight line. We live in a box, a cube. That's why the cube is so important. But here, so anyway, so once we get that download, now we start to get into relationships. Okay, now we got the download. We got how we're supposed to treat people, because remember, we're our parents. So now we got the download. We're getting a little older. We introduce money. Okay, real money, not just a little bit of money. We're getting our own money now. You know what I mean? So now we got money. Now we got this thing. These sins pop into our existence now with money, right? Because money changes things. You know, it just does. Remember when you were a little kid, money wasn't shit. Didn't mean anything. Now it's everything. So you get the money introduced, right? Okay, boom. Now you get money, you get girls, and you get stuff. Okay, this is all how we're learning how to treat people. This is our training on treating people nice. There's no school that teaches you how to treat people how you want to be treated, because you don't know how you want to be treated, because look at how we learned how to be treated. Look at how we learned how to treat people. You understand? You see? That's the crazy part right there. So now, after we done learned this much of the download, and let me just tell you what I learned would be considered okay-ish nowadays, but back then it was not cool to say some of the stuff that I used to say and could get away with in the alley. Because if my mother or whoever caught me playing those particular albums and the Teddy Ruxpin doll, the little talking teddy bear, it would have been on and cracking. I don't know what would happen, but that's another story. So, but anyway, so now after we're now let's say we hit high school here, boom. Let's fast forward this a little bit. Now we hit high school. We're in like, junior in high school. Now the hormones are raging, right? And at this point, I'm going to church and I'm kind of living the other side of the life. I'm living on both sides, because my parents, I was raised by two sets of parents. My auntie and uncle was church folks, and then my mom and dad was in the gang. So it was like I kind of got both lives. But the download was both, so it was a little different from 0 to 7. I kind of got both of it. So now, okay, you get money, you get your girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it is you're doing, and things are going good, but the hormones are raging, and you can't really talk to nobody because our relationships start on two things. In this world, you're chasing two things when you come out of the womb. The female is chasing dick, and a man is chasing pussy, and both of us are chasing money. Now, if you find enlightenment, or if you find what's real in between those two things, then you're onto something, because the wheel's very big and it's hard to get off of it. Because I know, because we're on this wheel, but that's another story anyways. But what I'm saying is, if you get those things right there are the driving forces in this world, in this reality. Okay, no matter how you cut it, money and the sex. That's the truth. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or nothing like that. I'm just saying it's reality. Now, unless you live in the bushes and started off way over there as just one people, because the brainwashing started a long time ago with us. Why do we like trinkets and stuff? Why do we buy stuff? Why do we have to, eat certain stuff? Why do we like certain things? And why do, we labels for everything, stuff like that. So we're not even going to trip on that. We're already stuck in that web. But so this is our training on how to treat people. So now as you grow up, you meet nice people, all that. Okay, so this is the download center. Boom. We hop into these relationships. Starts on what? What I tell you. Sex and money. That's the truth. Okay? Everything was that. You need a license and you need a title to do anything here. You can't go to jail for free. You can't get married free. You can't fuck. You can't have sex. You need a marriage license, or you're going to hell. All kind of shit. They want they cut it apart because this is their land. You know what I'm saying? If you don't work for the military or the police, you are an enemy of the state. Period. Okay, so when you're getting your download, you're learning who the Queen of England is, and when the Indians got killed, and slavery, and the police done killed somebody, mass shooting over here, something. So you're already used to this violence, right? So that's playing a part in your psyche, right? It doesn't matter who you are, if you're a good family, bad family, you're gonna hear about it somewhere on the news. So anyway, now you got this. This is your download to how to treat people. Now, boom. Now you say, boom, okay, boom, we get to college, or we get to the military, or we get to the factory, because you got three things you can do when you get out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your training to go to work. When you go to school, you meet your teacher, right? That's your boss. You know what I'm saying? Then after a couple hours, you go to break, recess. And then a couple hours later, you go home. Eat lunch. You know what I'm saying? You hear the bell in the box. Go eat your lunch. You know what I'm saying? Come back. A couple years later, you get a upgrade, or you get a next grade, or you get a promotion. A few years you do good there. You go to the next company. You get a salary raise and everything. Go to the next company. We get to the next school, right? And then after that, you get to go corporate. Then you go to high school. Then after that, you got to pay to get into the big boy school. You got to pay to get into the club. You can either go to college and pay for it and be in debt. You can go to the military and be crazy, or you can go to the factory, marry a high school sweetheart, have some 3, 4 kids, get a mortgage, 30-year mortgage, get you a boat car and all that, taxes, and boom, 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 get you a marriage license, be together, because you're starting a business when you get married. That's all that is. That's why you get married, with a license, to get a business, so you can make money, because your wife is carrying the precious cargo. That's why all the boats and planes and automobiles are called women's names, because they're carrying the precious cargo, and that's us, the children. And the brainwashing already started a long time ago. So anyway, back to our communication, how we treat people with each other. So now we've moved on to um, uh, college. Bam, we're like 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now boom, we get hit with these responsibilities. Bang, here it comes. Babies, jobs, careers, bills, family, people need you, reliance needs you. You got to put up these, you have to keep up these appearances everywhere. You have to wear a mask everywhere you go. If you don't think that you appease people, would you wear and have the name brand stuff and everything that you have right now? There was no people on the planet. Would that be the clothes you picked out? Would those be the hobbies that you like? Would you like those sports? Would you like those clothes? Would you like those people? Would you like color of people? Would you like the height of people? The size of people? Tattoos? One ear, no ear, two eyes, white, black, Mexican, who knows? All these labels, right? It's all in your mind. It's all there. And it's all downloaded way before you even know. But when the situation comes up, this is how you're going to react from the download. Okay? So boom, we get in a relationship now. We're in. We're fucking balls deep in right now. You're like, I know I'm all the way back from having kids at 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it can go from however old you are. But now here it comes. Boom. Now you get these real responsibilities. Now let's throw a couple things in there. Love. I'm in love with you. To be in love with someone is to consume them. That's why you want them to do it your way. They'd be better off if they did it my way. It would be so much better if you just did it my way. Why you gotta do it that way? In love is to consume them. That's not a partner. That's a drug. Now, now, that was my mother. Now, you, 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 you consuming that person, and the other person doesn't want to be consumed, so they take a role called a wife or a husband or whatever the role is, and that role has a title on it. So that means you have been designated that one thing. Like when you go to college, you can't do everything. You got to pay for all that. You can do one thing, right? So you're a wife or a husband or a son or a daughter. So now that's ownership. That puts ownership upon you because there's a one above you, right? I'm not saying be better or let anybody talk to you or nothing like that. I'm just saying just the psyche of it. Just think of it, just little thing, they just drip you to death, right? Just the little things, right? So now we get ownership, right? So now we got these things called, um, I'm grown, and and I'm the big uncle or whatever it is. You get these titles, right? So now you go into these relationships. Remember what it started over, the two things, right? The two things. Here comes the Trinity. It's the Trinity. Communication, right? You know what it starts over, right? Money and sex, right? For real. I don't care what you say. Now, unless you're a monk, a celibate monk, you know what I mean? And they're getting it too. They just don't know how. That's another one. But anyway, now, once you get in there, you move in with each other. You get all the responsibility of life in America that comes with this American dream, right? And it's a lot. It is a load. That's why you do drugs. That's why you escape any way you can from what we call reality, which is not reality. But this is why you escape it. This is why that is not your best friend that you're talking to every night. That is a different person every night, and every day, and every minute they're evolving into something. You know what I mean? And you're a part of that. But and then that is the triggers. These are the triggers, right? So now you got all this responsibility on you. You don't know nothing about nothing because I am just now figuring this shit out, and I'm 42 years old. So you get all these responsibilities. I don't care what it is, man. It's just heavy, right? But you don't think so because the more money you get, the more stuff you can do, and the more things you can get into, which causes more titles and more of all the stuff that you know about that comes with money, right? It's a curse on that shit, obviously, right? I can do a service for you, do a service for me. I don't need the money, but anyway. So now you get love involved, you get the money involved, kids involved. Now you're knees deep into this shit, and you don't know this person. You think you do, but you don't, because you didn't sign up for the person that you're going to know 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 1 year from now, no years from now. Okay? Now, you've got you've got decades of commitment built right up here, right now, right? You know what I'm saying? Because of the titles, you know what I mean? Like the high school sweetheart. We go way back. Oh, it didn't work that time because whatever the case may be. So that's all in your psyche. That's all from the upbringing, from the build up, right? You've already been programmed, motherfucker. It's already in here. It's, you know what I mean? Because you don't know what to do when you get into these situations, but what you know what to do. So that's why you freak out, right? Because you don't know where it's coming from. So now they give you a name for that. ADHD, LSD, Y2K, 2759, 911, whatever you want it to be, 711, L, whatever. You know what I mean? Halloween, motherfucker. I don't give a shit. Put a name on it, and then I'm going to give you something to cure it, too. Okay? This is all in your psyche on how to treat people. Remember that. So now, your partner is not doing the same. Now, okay, now we're into like year 5 of this relationship. I call it a 5-year run. So now, if you ain't figured it out by then, you know what I mean? Figure it out by then, you're a damn fool. And that's too long, way too fucking long. But I got these commitments, and they know these secrets about me, and we're devious because of the download. Remember the download, right? So I can't be getting away from her just like that because you gotta duck and dodge these motherfuckers because you gotta keep them around because you'd rather keep the devil that you know than go out and find a new one. You know what I mean? Remember that. That's the truth. Because anybody can get it. It's like EBK around here, right? So now we're going through these relationships and things start happening. You start to understand who you are turning into, right? Because you think that person's changing. No, motherfucker. It's you. You're the one that's changing. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that's changing. But you don't know that. But you're the center of your universe. So when you let people into your universe and they make you feel some type of way, that's on you, right? Can't nobody make me feel no kind of way. But I'm programmed to feel some type of way when I am hit with this certain, we'll call it a radiation. When that radiation hits me, it clicks on something in my mind that I react to a certain way to that. And if I don't catch it and understand what's happening, this is how the communication breaks down. Now look, we're in year 5. Now in year 5, you're not the same person anymore because you've changed. The shit you could get away with, you can't get away with as much anymore. Things are changing. You know what I mean? The whole shit is changing. Then here comes the blame. Blame is for the drifter. Blame is the person who just can't get it together and figure out that they're the center of the universe, right? So about year 5, the arguments have already turned into regular conversation, right? Because we don't know why we argue, really. We argue over the dumbest shit in the world, right? But it's from the download. Remember the download. Some people are sensible, some are not. They call it opposites attract. No, the fuck they don't. Opposites do not attract at all. You don't want apples and fucking oranges in the same goddamn tree growing off the same tree. It just don't make no goddamn sense. And it's not about color or none of that. These are all things that have been from the download. The download, right? So now you got this, I'm feeling some type of fucking way. Why? You know what I mean? That's the dumbest shit in the world. But no one knows about it, right? So now you go talking to your best friends, whoever that may be, about your relationships with your best friend, whoever that ain't, but the one who knows the secrets, the one who is your partner out of necessity, out of this crazy ass downloads that we have and how we police each other and tell on each other for shit we shouldn't be doing anyway, but it's just how it is because of the downloads. So now we got this mixing pot of us with these families, and we don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to problem solve, or we don't know how to understand one's, have some empathy for somebody. Empathy is to actually be that person for a minute. Just really actually be that person for a second. That's all. Just be that person for a second and figure out what they're thinking, how they're feeling when they're talking to you, um, in whatever type of way they're talking to you, how you're getting it. Just be that person. That's called empathy. And then you'll understand some shit for real and actually really be that person. Really actually be that person, no matter how it is. Anyone, I can do it. I can be Hitler, I can be Dalai Lama, whatever, because that thing is empathy. That's what it is. So now this is relationship one, right? So now we're in. We're like, man, this ain't working out. I don't know what the fuck to do, because everything is vibrationally low, and it's violence everywhere in the family, and we're everywhere, and I can't sit down and chill. Only time I can is when I go, what you guys would call drugs or inebriation or whatever, because you need this shit. You need church. You need all these things to do because you're already doing so much, right? This is the American dream, right? So here we go, man. Like, this ain't working out. How many high school sweethearts do you know that worked out? I'm gonna tell you, unless you in America, relationships don't work out. You know what I mean? They survive. You know what I'm saying? They last. But my parents been together 50 years, and I don't know if I would choose that. I'm not saying go out and be promiscuous. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying is I don't know if I would choose that. And then you need to respect that. You understand? I don't have to unrespect anything that you say. The only thing is you have to respect me and what I say, as long as I'm not disrespecting you. That's another thing that'll come with religion. That'll come with titles and entitlement. Everything is about a title and your paperwork. That's for later though. But right now we're in the first one, right? We just got out of college. We owe whatever, however, what we owe. We owe this money, and then we got these babies, and then and then the next thing you know, man, you and your other partner are falling out and going crazy because of what? Because you don't know how to communicate and sit down and really talk. Did you really talk about the core? Did you just say, hi, how you doing? What's up? How about them Blazers? How about the weather? Let's fuck, splurge some money together. Let's make a couple more lives out of here. Who cares about how they really grow up? Or, we'll just raise them just like the rest of us slaves and shut the fuck up and go to eat and be quiet and, and go over there and get over there and destroy the imagination of a child and just completely slaughter and insanely download this stuff into my brain, but they don't have a choice because they got the download too, So then this is how we are treating each other like this, right? So now you end up like, man, this ain't working out, right? Communication goes first, my friend. Communication goes first. That's why that's not your best friend. Communication goes first. If you think you're communicating, really, really do, I want you to take somebody out on a date and tell them at the end of the day, write down what you thought, how the date went, both of you, and read each other's paper. And then you'll see how much on tune you really, really, really are, and tell the truth. Tell the truth. You know what I mean? So if you really want to know, okay. So now you can't work it out for whatever reason. We're human beings. This is the smartest thing on this whole planet as we know it right here. There's some other things working, but as far as we know, the human mind is no joke, right? Look what it's created. No joke, right? So why can't I figure out how to talk to you? Why don't we come in with a book saying, here's how to talk to me, and we'll exchange books, and then we won't even have a problem, right? Of course not, right? It's not how it works. You don't have these classes in school. We're learning about some pilgrims and Kunta Kinte and the Queen of England and whoever's on the dollar bill. These old folks running around here, talking about 20 something. No communication classes. No classes on banking. No classes on finances. No classes on how to balance a budget in a crazy tight situation where you're getting hit with. We can go steal some shit. We can go over here and do some other slick shit, and you're trying to go to church here, and you're trying to be this person, and you're trying to do this, that, and the third, and you're trying to keep it all together, this real thin veil of masks that we wear. So now the relationship, you done already moved on in your mind. You have already moved on in your mind. Don't matter if you're still playing the bills and being the man that you can be, because it is already too late. Your mind has turned it off, right? It doesn't matter because we know what we're chasing, right? Anybody can get it when it comes to those two things. Because also those two things ensnare everything: happiness, love, hate, the whole 9 yards. You have to have this shit to get to anywhere you want to be in life, no matter where you're going, to the Dalai Lama, or to the pimp hoe house, to the military's highest, whatever, wherever you're going. This is the chasing part. So now this is our communication to our partners and to our people we love, our children and our family. And family only means grown-ups and kids living in the same dwelling. Doesn't say anything about being happy, being cohesive, or learning how to talk to people. Okay, so now this is our communication. This is our upbringing. This is the first relationship, number one. So boom, now we figured out it ain't working. So we're out. Boom. Now, if you don't know what I just fucking said, rewind it and listen to it. But if you don't know that, going into relationship number two, these values and installations are now being hardened, being chiseled, being sanded down, being programmed to be instilled in you, because now we can justify what we do the next one from this one. Okay, so if you jump ship to another ship, you're still riding on a ship, right? Because you don't remember the programming, right? So you go through classes, pills, um, Ritalin, and whatever. You can call it drugs, whatever you want to, but we're all addicted. Everybody is. I don't care what your addiction is. You can't get mad at me because some man that holds the law of the land, which is the money, that's in the Bible. Sorry, which is the law of the land, which is the money, can make up the laws and tell you what the fuck is good and not good. And they made it and put it here for you. Made it, but tell you if it's good or not good, morally, not morally. And you actually listen to those people. You don't listen to yourself. You already know what's up. You know what I mean? A birth certificate used to be written in the back of the Bible. It wasn't a certificate where they punch your feet and they put a stamp on your feet and your hands and your face. You know what I mean? When you're born, getting stamps, that's like getting a stamp like you're something that comes off of a ship, like some precious cargo or something like that. You know what I mean? What the heck is going on here? But anyway, then you need a certificate and a security card. I'm just a human being. Why do I need to be identified by different pieces of paper and stuff like that? I'm not off of a ship. I'm not a cargo. I'm not like a television or something like that. I don't have a social security card with a number on the back of it. What is that for? But anyway, this is our download, right? So now we're under relationship too. You know, we done got married, got divorced, but it says in the Bible you can get married, but you shouldn't get divorced because there's no divorce in the Bible. But it says in the Bible that you can't cheat on your wife too. Though. See, that's a little snag right there. You know what I mean? So then in the real world, you can get a divorce, but it's not good to do that because it costs a lot of money to get divorced. Because we got to get our cut out of that. Because now you're breaking the business, you're breaking the partnership. You know what I mean? The partnership. Law of the land, law of the sea. That's weird. And then we come out of the birth canal, you know, and then the boat and stuff. And then next thing you know, we go to the dock. Then we get some certificates and stuff, and then we're out of there. Weird. Anyway, so now back to the social security card number on the back. It looks like money. It looks like the same as like a money thing too. Weird. Anyway, so now, oh yeah, we're arguing about money, arguing about prenuptial agreements, who came in with the most money, who didn't come up with the most money in this partnership, you know what I mean, in this business, you know what I mean, in this thing we call love, in love, which is to consume. Now, life's going good. You got the job, you got it, man. You got the house, the job, the car. The bad one. I was just about to say the bad bitch, and then there's, you know what I mean, right there, the degradation in the music, right there again, you know. But anyway, and to degrade ourselves like that, I listened to it my whole life. It's degradation, brother. It's straight degradation of people in general. But anyway, so and when we celebrate it, you know what I mean. Our people are not our people. The humans are just dying. You know what I mean. Like on the street, I don't know if they're making it up. I don't know. It's all fake anyway because everything that they taught you is fake. Because look at where it got you. If you always have questions about something, right? Of course you do. You know what I mean? Because they ain't telling you nothing right. Why would you want a bunch of smart slaves? That doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't want smart slaves. The smart as me, then they wouldn't need me. So, you know, of course, I'm gonna keep it on a low vibration. because I don't want you to be on the same level as me, because then you wouldn't need me. So, yeah, if it bleeds, it leads. And that's the truth. Low vibration. Why would you want me happy and chilling and kicking it? Because then I could do everything for myself. So anyway, so now we as the children have grown up, and we're 1, 2 relationships in, bang, downloads in, we're good to go. Now, boom, we hit this marriage thing. Now you start to figure out your real self, because you don't know what you like, because it's all been downloaded for you to know what you like, right? Like coming to America. Yeah, I know what I like. I know you know. I know you know what I like, but I want to know what you like. She said, whatever you like. See? Okay? So now, when we start to talk to people, we don't do things like this. Stop. Remember, talk to that person and say what you're about to say to that person in that exact feeling, and then say it to them. And imagine what they're going to say back. Now, then you say, do I want that person to feel like that? Do I want that smoke? And then you ask yourself that. You think it's going to take a long time, but it happens in fractions of a second when you learn how to do it, because your mind has been trained not to do it. So you have to train it. You know what I mean? So then once you get this download in your mind, you'll do this real fast, and you'll have empathy for that person. You'll understand how that person's going to take that, how they're going to feel about that. And every time you talk to somebody, you will start to not to lie, because if you don't know it, you lie and degrade people in everything that you say. The little tiny little jokes like, oh girl, you a bitch, that's crazy. Oh nigga, you stupid, that's dumb, that idea. You know that shit ain't gonna work, cuz. You know that every time you do that, it degrades that person just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. Remember, the download didn't hit you all at once, and it was over a few years. Hardcore training. You know what I mean? Hardcore training in these businesses and partnerships, and these scholarships, and these corporate ships and all that. We learn how to be conniving and sneaky and get over it. You know what I mean? It's in there. If you really look, just look at it. It's ingrained into your woven into your psyche, right? So, and violence is 50 times more potent than heroin in your brain. So when you see violence, you're getting high. So when violence is all over the world, you see it everywhere. I don't care where you go. The church was built on violence. You know what I mean? What do you think red bottoms mean? You know what I mean? You don't get to the top by preaching love and kicking it and shit. You know what I mean? That's the truth. It's all built on, astrology and deeper. Not deeper, but just the same old damn story they've been telling for a long time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ain't that right, Rodney King? That's right. You know what I mean? Floyd, wait, which one? Fuck, I got lost. Anyway, so when you have empathy for a person, you won't lie to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought I wasn't lying, but I spent my whole life lying, manipulating and lying to download. But that's another one. But that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna finish last. You know what I mean? I'm not shit. I'm gonna have me a backup plan. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be out in the fucking cold because of whatever reason. But once you let these cancers get into your relationships, communication goes first. That's the number one thing. Sex. Second, everything else. Right? Because you're gonna keep you some money. So that's part one of this thing that we call relationship.